So I remember back in my 10th grade English class, I stayed after to talk to my teacher about a book we were reading. And I think the book was The Scarlet Letter, or one of those other books that was assigned to our curriculum. Anyways, so I stayed after to talk to him about the plot and the development of the upcoming chapters. And I probably had maybe a 15 to 20 minute conversation with him, and then I had to head to my next class because the bell already rang. So before stopping into my next class, I used the restroom because I had to use the restroom. And when I was washing my hands, I looked up to the mirror, and all I saw was this big booger on the right side of my nose. And it wasn't even like deep in where I had to like pick my chin up to see it. I could clearly see this thing almost hanging out of my nostril. And to me, it's just quite embarrassing just to think I was having a full-on 15 to 20 minute conversation with good eye contact with my English teacher with this big booger on the right side of my nose. Now, I would have wanted him to tell me. I would have wanted him, it would have been nice if he would stop the conversation and say, "Oh, you have something on your right nostril," and then allow me to get a tissue. That would have been nice. That, I would have liked that. I would have been quite happy because then I would have been able to clear my nostril and just continue the conversation, right? But he didn't. And I get if his reasoning was, it wasn't part of the conversation. I didn't feel it was necessary. But if his reason was, "Oh, I didn't want to embarrass you or even hurt your feelings," then that's where we have a problem. Because to me, communication should just be straight up and direct. There shouldn't be any lingering details that was missed, or even worse, lingering details that were purposefully left out of the statement to direct your point, because then bad things start to happen. There are just so many instances where communication is just being around the bush, the interpretation gets mixed up, and now the meaning is lost. I do know that some people don't like direct communication because they don't want to hear the statement if it's something bad about them or the message hits a sensitive spot they may have. And I do think that developing some thick skin coupled with some resilience is invaluable, because you can then take, some criticism if it is that type of direct message. And most importantly, you can take a direct message, whether it is good, a compliment, or whether it's some constructive criticism, or just a statement. So think about it. When you use a GPS, you want the fastest route to your destination. Now, imagine putting in a destination and your GPS takes you the opposite way, directs you towards traffic, leads you to the wrong exit. Then, after an hour later, eventually you're at your destination. You'd be pretty mad if you learned that there was a more direct path that could have saved you a lot of time and gas. Our communication has to be the same way. I get in shows and movies that there has to be some suspense and drama between the characters, and that's why direct communication isn't really sought out and misinterpretation is what is wanted. It's because they need to progress a plot. They need to extend the seasons. They need to lengthen the episodes. But in real life, we are not trying to progress a TV show or a dramatic movie. We are simply just trying to communicate. Imagine trying to compliment someone's shoes in this manner. "Hey, what brand are those shoes and what are they made from? Oh, where'd you get them? Oh, how long do you think it took the manufacturers to make them?" So you're saying everything but the main message of, hey, I like those shoes you have. If I was the English teacher and the teacher was my student, if we reversed roles, at the end of our conversation, I would at least have said, hey, you have something in your right nostril. I have some tissues on my desk, and feel free to blow it out. And that way, maybe the student was going to talk to someone they were particularly interested in, or some of his close friends, and it would kind of save him the embarrassment of going through multiple conversations with a booger in his nose. It's not something huge, but it is something a simple direct statement would have taken care of. And imagine if this was a more pressing issue, like a problem with your roommate that has been going on for 6-7 months, or you can't muster up the courage to actually sit them down and talk about this. Or maybe it's something that your close friend did that annoyed you, but you haven't really brought it up, but now it's still annoying you because they haven't fixed it. And again, that's just another situation where a simple, direct, sit-down conversation would help alleviate the situation. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's the most effective way in terms of actually saying what you want to say. So if you do have a problem with a close friend, just bring it up to them. Or if you do have a personal struggle or weakness that you want to work on, talk to yourself about it. Be direct, be frank. And if we're ever talking in real life and I have a booger, tell me about it. I'll see you guys next week.